Hello everyone, this is Eflex and welcome to another A Producer's Approach. In this video we're going to be looking at Two Friends song Brighter featuring Jeff Sontag and I Am Lightyear. So like most of my videos, I'm just going to be doing a intro and personal story in the beginning. Then after that I'll go into more of my breakdown and analysis, and then after that I'll go into the outro. And if you guys noticed in the descriptions of the videos, I just put a disclaimer in the video that I found online somewhere, just kind of saying, I don't own the rights of these songs, and the owners, if they do come across this and they don't want the song on the channel, then I'll take it down. So just kind of putting that out there for anyone maybe concerned about copyright issues and stuff like that in terms of the artist seeing this video somewhere down the road. If for some reason you don't feel comfortable with the video being on my channel, then just shoot me a message and I will take the video down, but hopefully that doesn't happen. So this is going to be my video for, again, Brighter by Two Friends. So basically Two Friends, they're an artist, like a duo that I found through a friend back in 2014, actually. I'd say one of my old friends, he recommended Two Friends to me. We were kind of like the guys that were listening to progressive house at the time. Like, I was showing him Monster Cat and he was showing me more underground progressive house and different channels. So he introduced me to Diversity, he introduced me to Two Friends, and then a music network called Chimera, and I think Galaxy Music back in 2014. So currently, like, I'm still buddies with him, and I basically said to him, hey man, I might do a Two Friends video one day. He said, yeah man, you should do it. So I think one of the first Two Friends song he actually showed me was Brighter, and the Two Friends, their style over the years definitely changed. I like their style from about 2014 to maybe 2018, because you'll see in the future when I do a song in their more recent style, not their latest style, but their more recent style, is not like the more traditional progressive house. It was kind of like it sounds almost like a synthesized piano. I don't know, it's a really unique sound, and that's probably one of the more notable sounds from Two Friends. So, but this is Brighter. I know there was Sedated and Brighter. Those were the two big songs around this time, and out of those two songs, personally I like Brighter. I don't know, the whole fullness of the song and the vocals hit pretty well in the song. So I mean, I've been fans of Two Friends since about 2014, but the more recent stuff I don't really listen to because the style for me personally changed quite a bit, and I'm not a huge fan of their new style per se, so I kind of listen to their older stuff more than I do their newer stuff. So basically, that's kind of my personal story with Two Friends, and we'll get into the song Brighter. So if you notice, kind of in a brief breakdown of this 30-second section, it's a more traditional progressive house intro with a 30-second kind of kick snare pattern in terms of percussion. They kind of had the main art playing, and then in the beginning they kind of had a reverbed vocal play and then kind of come in. the ARP has a lot of reverb, and so does the percussion. The whole kind of feel of the song is really big, so it has a feeling that there's like a lot of effects like reverb and delay. So that's one of the reasons why I like the song, because it's so kind of big feeling. It just feels like you're in a hall or something listening to the song. So basically that's the intro, a more traditional intro, and that's pretty much it.
You said that you loved her, 'cause that's what she wanted to hear. But you knew it wouldn't last for long.
Not long enough at all.
You said you're so much brighter.
You said there's so much more.
You said you're so much brighter.
Not bright enough at all. I said
Alright, so from what I noticed, just within that vocal section, so the ARP, the kind of the lead kind of ARPing sound plays, and then when the vocal kind of reverbs and comes in, there's a kind of hi-hat percussion playing along with the vocal. And then also the ARP kind of just plays one note. It doesn't play the full kind of ARP for a while. It just kind of plays the very root note while the vocals are going, and the vocals are really cool. Another reason why I like this song is because it almost sounds like there's a duet where there's like a call and response between the two vocalists, where you have I think I Am Lightyear is the female vocals, and then Jeff Sontag is the male vocals, so they both kind of have a duet with each other where one sings and then the other one sings after, kind of responding. So a very like a different approach to the call and response technique, which I like quite a bit. When they're two vocalists, they almost like duet within that way. They have a call and response, and then like eventually they might harmonize with each other. So overall, like the vocals in the song, at least in that part, was really cool with the call and response in that sections. And basically a guitar comes in, as you see here, so they use a lot more organic instruments, which is also a really nice touch to the song as well, because it really pairs with how big the song is and the vocals and just the overall feel of the song.
You said there's so much more.
I said I'll stand right by her.
You said there's so much more.
Alright, so within that section, right before it dropped, there was a kind of transition into the build-up. The kind of bass sound was introduced a little bit for you to hear in that vocal section, and then there's kind of a white noise sweep into the build-up where it's a snare build-up, and then they kind of have a almost harmonizing section where they go whoa, and then like both vocalists kind of say that, and they kind of harmonize it and kind of trade off as well in terms of saying those whoa vocals building up, and then the snares build up, and then there's kind of white noise risers, and then also the sounds themselves sound like they're going through a high pass filter, so it sounds like all the low end is getting cut out of it, so then you might only hear the high end sound. And it sounds like there's also maybe volume automation to where you don't really hear the lead sounds until it gives it kind of a gap where the vocals say whoa, ho, ho, and then it drops. So that's a really cool drop, very vocal based. I mean, even though it's a more traditional drop, like when you do have vocals in a song, you can be a little bit more creative in how you construct your build-ups and drops, because a vocal adds like another layer where I guess a lead would work, but I mean, you're hearing the lead the whole time, so when you have like a vocal and maybe an alternate lead playing in like the background, like I don't know, when you have vocals, you can really do, at least for me, you can utilize the song's structure and ability a lot better than when you don't have vocals and you're just using synths, because you have to switch a lot of synths and you have to make sure that synth is in the same frequency and sounds the same. So when you have vocals, it's usually a little bit easier in terms of structuring a song and just the overall, feel of the song. So we'll get into the drop now. Alright, so that's the drop. So first off, the drop is a more traditional drop, but as you may have noticed, like the sounds in the song sound really big, so they don't really sound as forefront. They sound like you're listening to this song kind of like in a great big hall or something, which is cool. It has kind of saw waves. It sounds like a saw wave lead playing with the chords, like da 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 da. And then there's like a bass line playing underneath the saw wave chords on top. They sound well, they're hitting a pretty high frequency, but also it sounds like there's a lot of audio effects in terms of processing, like reverb and delay. It sounds like there's quite a bit of it. Same with even like the bass sound, and then the bass sound's pretty prominent, at least to me, because I can hear it a little bit more since the higher pitch sounds are wider and have more audio effects on them, like reverb and delay. So to me, the bass line's more noticeable. And then there's kind of like a sound kind of in the background of the drop. I guess that's maybe like an extra texture in terms of like maybe like the notes playing, or just giving it extra flow as well. And I liked how the vocals kind of came like whoa, oh, and they kind of like harmonize. I can't do the best example or of that right now, but they do harmonize in this section. And then I do like how it transitions more into like a halftime drop. So it's like a kick on the first beat and a snare on the third beat. So pretty much like a traditional dubstep beat and rhythm. Like it kind of transitions from a traditional house song, and then all of a sudden has that kind of dubstep, almost like rhythm switch up in this drop. That's one of the aspects I do like in the song as well. So there are white noise sounds like risers leading up into the transition of the sound before the drop ended. So in terms of structure, it's pretty good. Traditional and certain sounds used, but I do appreciate the switch up. At this time, you didn't hear that in many house songs, especially progressive house. So that's why this one's also stuck out to me as being a little more unique for a older Two Friends song.
He stayed, he wanted to go wasted, but he didn't know, and she knew it wouldn't last for long.
Not long enough at all.
You said you're so much brighter.
You said there's so much more.
You said you're so much brighter.
Not bright enough at all.
I said.
Alright, so there's actually quite a bit going on in this section. So there was a reverse guitar sample to introduce the guitar, and there was the vocal coming in right when the guitar was playing, and there's also a different kind of percussion loop. There's softers like dunk, like kicks clap instead of like a snare. So it's pretty cool. The kick is really soft, but it gives it enough flow, and the kick doesn't really overpower, so it almost feels like a more acoustic type synth, not synth, acoustic type kick in a way, because it's not really like a really high, a lot of high end on that kick. It's more like a softer kick more than a harder kick that would be very apparent. So that's pretty nice. Sounds like a more traditional percussion rhythm in a break section like you would hear in a kind of pop or rock song. And pretty cool in this section, there's kind of like a synth that's also introduced as well, like I want to say in the frequency range kind of below the vocals. It's pretty similar, but it like kind of plays along. It's not like a bass sound, but it's like kind of like a lower sounding synth playing. And then the vocal is kind of exchanging the call and response type vocals with each other. So it's really cool. This section is kind of the breakdown, the kind of, I want to say the vocal breakdown. It's like, ooh, like you kind of get their kind of whole kind of harmonizing and vocal section. So pretty cool. Alright, so this section of the drop is a lot different, and you'll notice kind of what I said earlier is that the vocals in a song can kind of change the flow and structure and overall feel of the song. So we'll just go back a little bit to that kind of vocal section, kind of vocal break, I almost want to call it. So there's kind of like really big super saws being played while the vocals are played. Like the two vocalists are doing like a call and response to each other and kind of having a like vocal break section. And you notice there's not really much percussion. It's really kind of the main drive is those kind of saw wave synths and the vocals. So it's like its own kind of dedicated section itself. And then after that section, it kind of transitions, and the more regular sounds that you would hear in the song, they're kind of volume automated and maybe even filtered back in. And you notice also that the drop is, in terms of the snares and stuff, like the drop itself is pretty similar, but the difference is that the vocals are different. So in the first break and build up, there was this vocal section saying whoa whoa, and then it kind of drops saying whoa whoa. But in this section is going to drop saying so much brighter, and that was the kind of vocal hook in the kind of music world that they say, like when there's kind of a catchy kind of vocal phrase, they call that the vocal hook. This is more of like the vocal hook that was kind of repeated to build up, and then you'll probably hear right before the drop. But it's kind of interesting how the vocal hook kind of changed twice. And as I said earlier, when you have different set of vocals, you can kind of structure the song differently, because you might have various different parts of the vocals that you had a vocalist maybe sing, or the vocalist does sing, and you like this section and like what this section said, like what the vocalist sang here, what they sang here, and you want to somehow put them in the song but not have the same, vocal section repeat, like so much brighter, have that section, in the first drop and the second drop. So you could tell they had a much more variety in what vocal phrases and acapellas they had to choose from the vocalists, so they can kind of differentiate and give variation between the vocals for the drops. So that's just something interesting to note. Yeah, I mean, vocals do help a lot when you're working with the song. Personally, I know from working on my song Valaxima, it's the only song I have with a vocalist. Got pretty lucky a long time ago that this artist named Nathan Brumley, I guess he was just helping artists out for free in the community, and that was pretty much when I first started, along with my friend Paperwolf. Like, he helped me create the song Valaxima, but I had a totally different song in mind, and Nathan sang the vocals, and the whole song changed because of how good his vocals were. Like, I scrapped the original song, and Paperwolf and I made a brand new song just based off the vocals from what Nathan sang. So I can see how this song was pretty much structured around the vocal acapellas that the two friends got from both Jeff Sontag and I Am Lightyear. So good to know, and now time to listen to the second drop. Alright, so one thing I forgot to mention in the first drop is kind of the audio effects they use in the middle to kind of transition. They have a sound, almost sounds like they filter that part, like the whole song out, almost like in a DJ set where sometimes DJs, filter out the sound so they can hear the crowd. Sounds like that's kind of like a purposeful effect that they had in this song to transition, which was pretty interesting because I've never heard too many songs within the 2014 era use a filtering effect quite to the effect the two friends did. So that also gave them like a unique sound to themselves. But just to break down the section so far, so when the drop hit, the brighter vocalist, I think I Am Lightyear, her saying brighter kind of stretched out into the drop, then it changed, and then I think it had Jeff Sontag harmonizing with the melody of the song, and then you have I Am Lightyear saying a vocal phrase kind of in the background. So if you were trying to like imagine this in a live performance, Jeff Sontag would be kind of harmonizing, and then I Am Lightyear would be on the other side of the stage kind of singing her vocal phrase in the song. And then after that, it will transition into this song where it kind of vocal chops Jeff Sontag's vocals in the kind of dubstep section, and then I think I Am Lightyear might have a vocal section here. I can't remember. Alright, so it kind of ended with the whoa vocals, kind of with that dubstep-ish type drop, and then it kind of ends kind of their transitions kind of with that filtering effect, and then kind of goes out to the kind of kick outro. So overall, as I said, the kind of use of the vocals in this section, in this drop section, were really great. They had a lot more variety in the vocals, so you notice the vocal phrases changed. They used the vocals in different parts of the section, like at the end of this drop, in the dubstep-ish type rhythm section, they used the whoa vocals. They might have done that in the first drop, but that was also the same vocals to lead up into the initial first drop, so kind of brought that around full circle again. And overall, they had a great use of harmonizing vocals. So this is Two Friends' song Brighter featuring Jeff Sontag and I Am Lightyear. The Two Friends in this time, I will say after reviewing the song, the things I think that made them unique were the kind of big, kind of reverbish sounds that they use, their use of vocals in their songs, and that kind of filtering, I guess, in the middle of their drops. I don't exactly know what audio effect that is. To me, it sounds like filtering, but it could totally be something else. That made their sound unique as well, because not many other, if not any other, producers were doing that in their house songs or progressive house songs in 2014. So overall, the song's really good. This was the first stage of the Two Friends sound. The next style you will see is more of like a synthetic piano, and that's kind of the style I personally like the best for their style, but we'll go more into that in the next song that I kind of break down and analyze. But overall, Brighter still holds up as, you know, one of my old-time favorite Two Friends songs. Just the switch up in the drops, and just their overall use of vocals, and the vocals themselves just hook you in. Like, they're so good, and it's so catchy, and the vocal hooks just work. So overall, this song is just great. If you guys haven't checked out the Two Friends, their older music like Brighter, Sedated, go check those out. They're really good progressive house songs for the 2014 era. I have to thank my friend again for, you know, showing me back in the day Two Friends, because they definitely are a group of artists I've been following for quite a while. And overall, I just hope you guys enjoy these videos. I hope you guys learn something from these videos. If you like or dislike the video, just leave a comment below. Otherwise, that's it for me, guys. Hope you guys have a good one, and peace.